webinar. And basically, what I will give some kind of guidance, like mentorship on the AI. That basically I will give you that on AI technologies, how it will be useful for us to look for new jobs and based on our current buzzword. Okay, and if it is required, if any specific questions, I will guide you like about the cloud computing things. Okay, just give me a second. I am sharing my screen. Uh, Everyone able to see mm, my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't call me sir. You can call me Nagi. That is more good. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Just give me a second. Yeah. This is like a brief already. Nandita is introduced myself, like about me. But overall, I am been working CGI in 19 years, and basically I am Java J2E microservice architecture background. And past 1.5 years, like I am closely working with okay, generative AI tools and technologies. My current role is solution architect and designation delivery manager consultant. This is just brief about my technologies. Okay. Coming to like here, just if you have any doubt, please hold me and ask. Like otherwise, I will give question or hour after my presentation so that we can go ahead more details. Okay. Nowadays, like current market, like we can hear more buzzword is AI. So what is AI and what it does and where it is support and uh, uh, if some like a few people meet, there is a first talk about AI, like how it is going to change the world, technology and what. So that I can give some more details. Like not only that, it will be some kind of LLMs like GTP, Chat GTP, what it does at GTP, how we can run, and what is the use of those. I will cover briefly about all these things as part of our presentation. Okay. So the first question is, it is like AI is a game changer, or it is providing opportunity, or it is, yes, definitely I can say that something it is a AI is a game changer for our current way of working. Okay, what kind of opportunities is give that we will talk coming sessions here. So like the opportunities, you can say that why I say that it is a game changer. Like for example, we can say that I don't know how many people in the webinar have the testing background. Okay, we know that when we start writing test cases by using requirement, there is a manual effort. It is required, like we can understand the requirement, write test cases, reviewing test cases, and generating automation test cases. These it will be a time consuming. Okay, so the AI, it will be definitely help us. Like we can give if you know prompting, just you can give that a requirement. It will be auto generate by using chat gtp. I can say that chat gtp, it will be give the test cases. It will be like based on the requirement, it will give the test cases. So out of it, we can have manual review whether it is covered everything or not. So almost you can say that some amount of effort and manual things is reduced here. Okay. The second, like automation, like a Selenium scripting, JMeter, whatever you're developing, like automation test cases, like scripts, the our code assistant to the AI, it will be support us to move faster. Okay. That is the one thing like in testing and automation. The second one is like a code quality and product improvement. Okay, this I will give you one solid demo how where it is improving our product productivity and quality, how it is improving, what kind of support it will be does for us. And by using AI, the first primary is productivity improvement, cost saving, and quicker delivery. These are the three major generative AI is supporting in the current industries. Yeah, see, we can see here like I won't go in detail about this. I will go like around the highlighted points here. Quick, we can do the quick prototypes by using AI, and planning and cost estimation. Like in a year, you can say that without AI, it is taking like 120 man hours. With AI, it will be take as a 19, 18 hours. Like how it is helping to reduce it. And the customer feedback, like business point of AI, you can use in the different directions. One is developers, second one is business cases. So how AI is helping for our business cases, how it is helping for the developers. Okay, you can see the metrics, some of the metrics which we captured, like it defect ratio, when we use AI to code generation or test cases, the defect ratio 60% it will be reduced, and the development cost will be reduced by 60%, and the quality of code which we wrote that will be improved and reduced by 70%. And see, when our code reviews, it will be by 25%. And the main thing is like a delivery, like acceleration of current market. Like in a year, it is taking 2 years. Now it is taking 1.5 year or 1 year timeline can deliver the code. These are the major highlight things which is it will be give advantage by using AI. See, so that is fine. Like we talk about what is AI, why it is buzzword, and what kind of things it do. But now think about we are in the normal, like a traditional developer. Okay, so what are the things we can learn and adapt to make our traditional developer as a AI developer? How it can be make that journey, like how what are the things we can know, those things. Like here you can say that in traditional developer, like a manual coding practice, like if I am a Java developer, I should have everything, I should have a knowledge, solid knowledge to write the codes. Okay, and always I will depends on the documentation and the debugging techniques, and it will be like a time consuming for me to do the code reviews, refactor my code. Okay, these are the traditional developers. Everyone knows that this is like a completely depends on the developers, like knowledge based. Okay, and the
Abhi,
second, yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. I
yeah,
just want to understand that you mean to say, like we as a developer, because I'm a Java developer plus tester also.
mhm.
So you mean to say that I have to learn a AI tool which will generate all these things to get into some kind of a job, or what exactly you're trying to say? I'm trying to understand, because most of the cost and all will be reduced by the AI generated things. So how
Yes.
it is going to help the aspiring developers or the testers? That is what is my concern actually.
Yeah. I will give you some idea like here. See,
Okay.
definitely. See, you said like you are a Java developer and tester. Okay, so the difference it will come the developer who is using AI and you is the fastness and like productivity improvement and knowledge. Okay, see here.
Okay.
Uh, uh, if you have generated AI, like a generative AI tools, like I can say that Chat GTP and Code Assistants too, if you use, okay, the way what you have to learn is how to use these tools. Okay, at least
Okay.
one tool you should know. Like for example, Chat GTP. You can take that. That is freeware is available in the web. Okay, how
Right.
efficiently you can use Chat GTP for making all these manual effort. Like for example, we can say that simple. Okay, login screen. Okay, you want to
Mm.
write a test cases for login screen. Okay, if you're
Okay.
writing a lot of things, it is a time like 1 hour, 2 hours time it is required. How efficient you can use generative AI to decrease your time and improve the quality. Same thing you can prompt in the chat git, you can try it. Okay, test cases for login screen and validation, it gives consolidate all use cases. That is the way
Okay.
generative AI tools help you. Okay, so in this case
Okay.
you must learn how prompt engineering, how to prompt tools. Okay, that I will cover you next slides. Okay.
Okay. And yeah, even the companies are supporting these kind of things. I mean, because I have got almost 8.5 years of gap.
Mm.
So the now the companies are supporting the code and all which are generated by the Chat GPT, or you mentioned code assistants like that. The companies are
Yes,
supporting
yes,
all these.
yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
fine.
Companies are giving all tools set to the developer. Okay, see, without like organization support, we can't do it. But all nowadays, almost all companies, MNCs are recommended to use that generative AI tools, so that it
Okay,
will be
okay,
like if you want to get a job opportunity quicker, you should like you can give some kind of trial version, or you can mention clearly in the resume saying that I am good to use prompt engineering, I am good to use generative to AI to code assistance, I have done all these things, so that like organizations also give more preference to you because of they are giving self training in the other people, they will pick you, right? Because already you know how to use the tool, so that it will
right.
be easy to place in our jobs, right?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Got it?
Thanks
But
a lot.
Nagi,
Yeah,
but
got
Nagi,
it.
can I add? Can I add a bit with
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
permission?
Please add a screen.
Yeah, but I don't know. I forgot the name who has asked the question. So definitely,
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
you can make use of the tools as Nagi has mentioned that, and companies definitely support. Why? Because they are getting some profits out of it. However,
okay.
as a developer or a tester, you need to make sure that I think the code, whatever that has been generated, okay, is not having any flaws. Okay, why? Because whatever
Okay.
the code that is getting out of this AI, I think we need to go for the multiple reviews and we need to confirm this is good. Straight away, you cannot integrate that code onto the company's code or IP's code or custom IP's code. So you need to
Okay.
make sure certain precautions. There are some coding standards that needs to be followed. There are some review standards that needs to be followed. And once the AI code has passed on all these things, on all these phases, then you can safely get it converted or integrated into our code. That's our responsibility. So companies will always say that you can make use of these tools. So definitely that
Okay.
also gets they also get the benefit out of it. But there are certain coding practices, certain review practices that needs to be followed, and accordingly you can integrate. Sorry, sorry, Naki. Okay, please
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure. No, no,
thanks,
no, no.
thanks a
It
lot.
is Srini, whenever I miss something, you have a point, say, please add me, okay, add the
Sure,
point. It
sure,
will
sure.
be
Thanks.
really help us to understand more clear to the audience, like the members, okay? Maybe I am not covering completely, but if you have any additional points, please add it, Srini. Okay. That is a way, when we see traditional developer, we have the limited knowledge, it is completely rely on our skill set. And so we can use organization will provide some kind of tool set, Gen AI tools to us. Okay. So there is real time, like this is kind of advantage we are getting here, like a time, code, quality, and deadlines, everything it will become. And this is like where I can prefer, I can give more insights, like how you can journey of AI, how and what are the things you can learn to get more opportunities to get quicker jobs. Okay. See here, there is in area I covered it. There is two things. One is like using generative AI tool for productivity, productivity like a developer point of view. The second case, it will be like a business development. We can think about the customer point of view in applications, like we are developing some application. What are the things we can make use of AI to make it simpler, get accurate results? Okay, there are two things. Okay. For doing these two things, this is like all these four boxes. It will be help you. At least I can say that three boxes. It will be mandatory. You can have a knowledge on it. Okay. The first one. Okay, AI and data science fundamentals. Like we should know like fundamentals. I can say that if you are a developer, you should have some kind of knowledge on Python. Like by using Python, you can able to write at least the call, how to use that open AI services, how to use that kind of business development process. So I can recommend you can have some kind of basic understanding of Python, and you should know if it is not like expertise, at least you should know in the market what are the open AI services are available, what is the use of those. Okay, we can say that like we can say like the anomaly detection. Okay, document translators, there are a lot of AI tools are there, and document checks. Okay, you should at least aware of, okay, these are the services it is using, so that if it is in, when we go to the interviews and any real time, you can say that, okay, do you know any AI services, what is the use? At least you are able to understand, like, in the market, what are the open AI services are available in case of Azure or all those things. And models, like, you can see that the GTP4 model and the Gemini. So what are the models is available? What is the use of? I am not saying like we go in depth, not in depth. It will be understanding what are the models and what are the services available. What is the use? At least we can have this kind of knowledge, and on top of it, you can have some basic knowledge on Python. That is the fundamental area you should learn. Okay, and where you can learn. That is the second point, is where you can learn. Okay, that we can go, like, everyone, like, nowadays Udemy, you know, right? That is the minimum cost. You can do trainings, or you can always try, like, some kind of material is available in Udemy, and YouTube also. You can get some kind of information. So we can make use of these two. Just you can have a basic understanding of all these things. The second thing, prompt engineering, where the prompt engineering is help us. Like, the first part, it will be help for business development. The second part, prompt engineering, it will be help us, like, using dev models, like, for example, Code Assistant, Chat GTP, and GitHub Copilot. It is all these developers tools based on the prompt engineering. I must I must suggest, okay, everyone should do some kind of training on prompt engineering. This is one of the must do activity. So everything AI works on prompt engineering. It will be simple how we can write a prompt, how effective you can write it, how the result will become. Everything depends on this prompt engineering. So these two things, it is, I can recommend you to get quicker jobs, or to get you will become AI developer. These two are must. And the rest of the things is, it depends. Once you got the job, like, we can go more detail, deep learning models, all those things. It is not that much important at the moment, but these two things are, you must learn this. Any questions here?
I think someone has raised their hand, but anyway, like, open for
I can't
questions.
able to
Nagi.
start.
No worries, no
Yeah.
worries, no worries. Yeah.
I
Hello.
am in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For prompt engineering, where you can learn, like you suggested Udemy for Python. So where to learn
No.
prompt?
Prompt engineering also, it is there, Udemy, and also you can check in the YouTube. It will be give the prompt engineering. Yes.
YouTube
Okay.
videos are good. YouTube
Yeah.
videos are
Okay.
very good for prompt engineering.
Can you
in fact.
suggest any specific one, or I can search?
You can, but Udemy, you can check prompt engineering. It will give solid explanation
Yeah.
also. Like, I can suggest Udemy is the one. And you want any additional specific things, you can go to the YouTube, because YouTube is a big dump. That is very
Okay.
difficult to identify right things. Okay, but Udemy, there is a trainers, and based on the ratings and these things, you can pick and you can go ahead. But
Okay, thank you.
I strongly recommend it. Everyone should do prompt engineering. The first, the second one is AI and data science. This thing. And the prompt engineering is required for testers, or business people, and management people, or everything. It is a common. Okay. Can I move on?
Yes.
There is a
Thank
question
you.
from Anuja.
Yeah. Please let me check in the chart, right?
No, Anuja, you can post your question. No problem. You can
Hello.
ask.
This is
Yeah,
Anuja.
please. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
yeah,
We can.
sure.
Okay. All right. So my question was that all these programs and courses which you're mentioning, are these specifically for people who have been coding or from coding background, or anybody else can also do these courses and they will learn enough to get some kind of an opportunity?
No,
The
what
first
Nagi
thing,
has mentioned, Nagi, let me answer if you are okay,
yeah.
right? See, Nagi has clearly mentioned that AI can be utilized for the development purposes or the testing purposes, right? So now your question is with respect to prompt engineering. So prompt engineering can be learned by the testers also. Why? Because how effectively a test case can be generated, you can take you can get the help from of a AI to generate your test cases, to improve your productivity time, or to improve the quality of your testing. So to answer your question, programming knowledge is not mandatory, but what Nagi is mentioning, in order to deal with the models from AI, in order to train any model, in order to call any model, and if you wanted to really deal with any interact with the models, then you might require Python scripting, but otherwise, to make use of AI good features, you don't require any coding background. So Nagi is mentioning that prompt engineering is a mandatory prerequisite to deal with the AI to get right benefits out of it.
Yeah.
So
And
did
I
I
can say
answer
that
your question?
No, no, let me give you a little background. I come from HR background.
Mhm.
So my question is, how do we use this from HR perspective?
yeah, see, I can say that here, there is a two things, but dev tools is not required for HR. Okay, but prompt engineering is must. How we can use it? You can see in HR background what kind of activities you can do. You can briefly add some points like recruitments. Okay. Okay, doing recruitments are the things nowadays. Our AI tools, chatbots is giving like a same chat GTP like kind of tools is giving to you. Like you can make use of instead of you can use Naukri are the things the chatbot is giving to you. So you should know prompt engineering how effectively like you can retrieve the data. For example, I can say that I want Java developers 3 years. Okay, or so and so technologies. Okay, we can very defined way we can put in the prompts in the tool. Okay, so it will be internally, it will connect all these job site, it will be give the information to you. So I recommend even any category people, the prompt engineering is a must. You know what you type or what you can prompt. That is the thing.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nagi. So there's one more question in the
Yeah,
chat box.
Nagi, can I just share my experience, if you don't mind?
First, let we
Hello.
can complete our presentation, then we can. Okay, who is Nandita? Is it Nandita?
Yeah, this is
No,
Nandita.
it's
So I saw. No,
Yeah.
actually, this is a confusion. So I just saw Asta Sharma is asking for a person coming from technical background and want to switch to career to IT field, what would be the starting designation she can apply? AI or ML? In which field she want to step in?
Yeah, that is the first thing is ML. It is a part of one of the subset of AI. Plus, nowadays we are not putting more focus on like machine learning algorithms or other things. I can suggest first we can have some kind of knowledge on AI, generative AI. Then we can write Python or these things. Then we can go deeper into the ML and like a deep learning things. That depends on their own interest.
Okay. And one more query we have, Divya. She asked like prompt engineering can be used by developers. That is the query. And Srinivas, he mentioned like yes, but could you please elaborate how the things will work on that?
Yeah, that is. I will give one small presentation, Nandita. Like after this, I have planned one where it will give
Okay,
like
sure.
more insights on it.
Okay. And we'll take one more before getting into the next presentation. So Madhuri, she wants to know if she have two skills like MI and cyber security with different previous background in tech, how to build resume? Is it with two different resumes or in one?
It will be like in security. Like see, I can say that generative AI tools is nowadays common for any sector. Okay, but security,
Mhm.
Srini, can you answer to that?
Yeah. Srinivasan.
Srini?
I will answer. I will answer when anyway. That is one of the topic I will be covering that during the
Okay.
Okay.
presentation. I
So
will take care.
Madhuri, just hold on for some more minutes. So Srinivasa is going to throw light on this query. So
Hi
yes,
Nandita,
Nagi.
this is hi Nandita, this is Avni. Give me a minute, please. Ladies, I request you all to please hold on for the guests to finish the presentation. We will be answering
Yeah.
your questions. Just allow them to
Yes.
first finish their presentation. Keep your questions posted in the chat box, and once they are done with their presentation, they will be answering all the questions. So
Yeah.
please do not disturb them while they are delivering. Let's maintain a little decorum here and keep the questions parked for the end. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
Avni,
will.
for facilitating the things, and you can go, Nagi. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. My next thing is just like I can see like what kind of probably business use cases we can cover. Just I can give highlights like bug sense, like detect bugs, like how it will be when we have a raise any defects, it will be in a Jira. So it will get to so many tickets are there and repeated, sometimes repeated bugs are coming. So if you make use of AI, you can give like the bug resolution, like you can type that, it will be automatically find that previously closed bugs and what are the resolution you can done. Based on that, we can go for quicker, faster in stuff you do own. Already you can take the resolution from the previous fixed things. That kind of things we can do that. And some kind of like this is like some kind of development activities I'm not going to cover here. The second one is like some kind of AI services, like we can use cognitive service like PDF document translation from one language to another language, complete whole documentation in stuff we can use as a Google search, that kind of things. And the third one is POCs, like you can develop your own GTP models and document repository, so that IPs, for example, in your project we have product documents. Okay, for reading whole completing product document, it will be time consuming. So instead of you do that, you can keep all product document in one place, and new joiners, if we say that, okay, how I can create the person, okay, so that automatically chatbot will give like it reads behalf of you, it gives the steps, like these are the steps you can follow to create the person in your application. That kind of support it gives, like some kind of POCs business purpose, you can do that. And just I will give some kind of demos, like people have a lot of things like how it helps for developer for code generation kind of things. Okay, just hold on a minute, just I will give that. Okay, before I go here, see, we know that if there is a requirement, we can implement like some kind of, like, hello, any, yeah. Before that, like there is a requirement, it comes to you for especially for the developers. Like I want to implement one REST controller service, DAO, and database things. So obviously it will be take 4 to 5 days of time. Like depends on the use case. So it will be 3 to 4 days. It is taking how the generative AI tool it will be helpful. Right? For example, if I am using here as a GitHub Copilot, it is given by the corporate version. Okay, so what I do is it will be the use case, it will be manually. If you want to do with your own skill, it will be take 3 to 4 days. So but how it is helping for me, like it is IDE is integrated to the my like that GitHub Copilot is a code assistant tool, it is integrated to our IDE. How it works, you can give like the process, like a Java developers more knows about, like I want to generate from the entities. Okay, this is the prompt, I can say that. Instead of you can write own. Okay, see, by using these columns and all the steps, okay, see how it is giving the code to us. So just what I have to do is I have to copy paste these things. If you want to write manually, we need to study the documents, we need to understand what are the fields and all the things. If I give only SQL scripts, see, it is all the entities are created. In continue with that all, because what are the tables is there, it will be give including relationship, all the things. That is the way it will be improve the faster development. And also I can prompt like write uh, repository and DAO classes. I think is after this, just I have to revisit the code and copy paste, create a supported process here. That is the more than enough. Like almost 80% of code, it will be generated by the tools. This is the way the prompt engineering and it will be have. For example, I want to like we don't know like explain this. Explain. I can say that explain this. If you want more understanding, it will be give information about what these scripts will be do, what are the things we are doing. This kind of activities, the prompt, all these developer tools, it will be prompt engineering, it will be give the advantage. If you know prompt engineering, it will be very easy to write the codes, like by using your own language, you can prompt here, automatically generate the codes for us. This is the one way of like how where the generative AI tools is helping the developer to improve your code quality and so efficiency, reduce the cost. And the same kind of things, like I can say that what are the prompt I can give here. The chat box also it will be give same kind of activities, right? Here, I go here. Chatbot is one of the things. I can say that I can give some kind of things I want to check, same kind of things. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. But give like database design for survey system. Right? Because I want basically I want database table designs for implementing one of my use case like a surveys. And email return and content regeneration, everything we can type it here. You can see here. Can explain what are that things that we, this is a chat GP, simple chat GDP, which is available free version where we can do prompt like that. So it will be explained like how the survey systems is working here. It will use database design. Just give myself hold on a minute. It gives everything here. So this is the way like ChatGPT or here you can write your if it is a testing background, you can write here like a write test cases like for these requirements, you can type it here. It will automatically it will be like a I will write the same thing here, like stop this because okay here how it will be. I'm a testing background. I want to write test cases. Just simply you can see like login valid all the steps it will be give. I can copy paste and create the documents here. And these are the few examples of prompt engineering because we have in like on the work, if you have more requirements, you can type the prompt based on your requirement. It gives like insight at least 30 to 40% idea you get it by using these generative AI tools. I think let it be generate. This is the way it will be do. Yeah, and AI services. I can say that like the second business use cases, what you want to know. Like for example, I can give some kind of brief idea here. This is one of OpenAI. There's things you can give. What I'm clearly saying, like you should know, but it's not like implementing all the things. You should know at theoretically what is the use of AI services. Okay, AI search. What is the use of AI search here? And computer vision, face detection, and a custom, so that you can put in a Google like Azure AI services or like a Google AI services, something it will be gives the information about what are the AI services are you is there and how we can use it. This is especially for the developers like who want to work more on technical point of that will be useful for that. Some kind of trends where generative AI is working more. Just give me a second. See the way we can see that more text editor like auto completion. Just now, Chat GTP, how you use most of the people are using Chat GTP and generative AI tools in the industry. The second, like code reviews it is using. And the third one is content generation. We can see that media content are the things and codes are the things. These are the high level they are using. And what are the industries of predictive analysis? It will be chatbots and code assistants and fraud detection, like payroll things, fraud detection and security purpose. The most AI, the AI using in these three sectors, three areas, business cases. And most of the things is content management, code generation, and customer support. Like instead of customer services, they can give the chatbot. They itself it will give the answers to wait for customer service people are responding you. That kind of system it is going to design by using AI. And the final thing, will it AI takes over your job? That is the biggest fear everyone have. That yes, like what is like it won't replace your jobs, but it is giving additional. If you upgrade, it will be give replace the people who is not upgraded, and it gives more responsibility and higher positions. That is the way it helps AI for us. Yeah, I think I am done from my presentations, and it is open for question and answers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nadi, for your presentation. So we, Manish raised hand. Manisha, sorry, Manisha Taketi. Could you please
Manisha.
unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in companies, most of companies are using AI. But I want to know about data security and data sensitivity. How at what extent they are allowing, because AI security is a big issue right now.
No, but
Till
do
now
you
they
think? But do you think data sensitivity is related to AI?
That is
AI
why
in
I
the sense
want to ask.
ChatGPT. I'm talking about bots because it's open source. So I'm just
No.
curious
I
to
will
know
answer.
how much
I
industries are willing to go for a ChatGPT
no.
regarding
One thing is,
security issue.
see, Manisha, like I will give some hints. Like yes, like organization are encouraging to use Chat GDP things. It's not like a public versions. It will be like company proprietary tools they will give to you to
Okay.
use that. So
Internal bots.
yeah, internal bots it will be there. So whatever
Okay.
GitHub Copilot, all the things it is internally it is self-hosted or self-agreement things. So that is the way all the people, all the organizations are maintaining the security.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And we have Anjali also, who raised their hand. Anjali?
Yes, yes, Nadi, I'm there. Actually, I have a question that my background is not in technical and as a computer learner. So, is it necessary to learn AI? And is there any some courses which you suggest me? Hello?
Yeah. I'm listening. Uh,
Yes, sir.
okay.
That is my question.
No. Can you come back? Come again. I didn't hear you properly.
Okay. Okay, fine. I'm asking that my background is not a technical, right? And is it is necessary to learn AI? And so can you suggest some courses regarding AI which I can
Yeah,
do upskill my?
Yeah, I got your question. Like already, I previous slides I mentioned. Nowadays, any technical person, it is must we can learn prompt engineering and some kind of AI, like like a Python and for the technical background, Python and some kind of understanding and LLMs and services. That is a must. If you want to continue the industry, is the more time that is upgradation is required.
Okay, sir. And there's some courses regarding this. Can you suggest me?
Yeah, that is like already I mentioned, like in Udemy, you can check that prompt engineering and the generative AI and tools or something like a Python, ML, and these things. We can, sorry, you can get the good articles or like courses in the Udemy. I can suggest one of the things.
Thank you, Anjali,
you, sir.
for your question. Yeah, Sonam, I think you texted. You also got the answer from him. So, Swati, she raised her hand, and Asta is there, and Kushbu also is there. So we'll do one thing, like you just mention your queries in the chat box. We'll just come back to you as soon as possible because we are permitted with the time constraints. So please, I request everyone to text the queries what they have in the chat box. And one request I have, Nagi. So the people wants to have your LinkedIn. Can I share your LinkedIn link here?
We can share it, but I won't use that much frequent because whenever I see, just I will suggest. Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
sure. So
Yeah,
last one, Kushbu, you can just ask like from past 10 minutes I'm listening you. Yeah, Kushbu.
Just I am putting some kind of like details in the technical things. What are the topics you can cover in the Udemy, so that it may be useful for technical people. They want to do that. Okay.
Thank you, Nagi. Thank you very much. So for the people who wants to start a new career and who wants to learn something new, you can just refer what he mentioned here.
That is the minimum things which is required, so that in the rest of the things on this job we can get it. Nowadays people are looking more on these things.
Okay, thank you, got it. So Kushbu, you can ask your query, and next we'll go to our next mentor. Actually, I thought to introduce him before his session. So after Kushbu, yeah, Kushbu, you can ask.
Sir, I want to ask that apart from ChatGPT, what are the tools of AI we should know?
Sorry.
So Nagi, he's asking apart from ChatGPT, what are the
Apart from
tools we could? Yeah, what are the tools we should know?
Any code assistant tools like Code GTP or GitHub Copilot. One I can suggest, like recommend for that is the one it will be support for development purpose. That is the one we can go ahead. And the prompt chat GTP like tools, it will be a prompt based on the prompt engineering. Any tools you can use, any chat bots, it just depends on the prompt engineering. Okay, the second one is code generator tools. You can use it anything.
Thank you, Nagi. I expect that you are going to stay until the next session covers. So because we have some queries, so at last I just want to throw a few questions what we got in chat box, and either you or Srinivas sir could give answers to them. So thank you for the presentation. So let me introduce Srinivas Pakala. He's a seasoned professional with over 18 years of experience in performance and security testing. As a director consulting expert at CGI, he has consistently demonstrated his prowess in cybersecurity, disaster recovery, and enterprise quality engineering architecture. His impressive portfolio is backed by certifications as a Scrum Master in Scaled Akai, called SAFE, and as an ethical hacker, his exceptional contributions to his field have been recognized with the prestigious Loka Gold Award, highlighting his dedications and experience in IT and business consulting services. Thank you very much, Srinivas sir, for joining us today. So And I'm really sorry because in the morning session I thought to introduce you also, but before having your session, I want to introduce you as a person. And thank you very much for pulling yourself into other things also and resolving few queries. Thank you. And the floor is yours.
No worries at all, Nandita. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, in fact, I wanted to request before I start my session to be interactive, but I think, yeah, I think team is very much interactive. Lots of questions they are
Very
asking,
much.
so I need not to tell that. Okay,
Yes.
so
So
what
yeah,
exactly is your interest, team? Actually, yeah, as Nandita has mentioned that I am giving services to across within the CGI piece as well as the CGI clients across the world with respect to performance test engineering and security testing, cyber security, and various areas of cyber security. And long back, even I worked on telecom automation kind of things. Anyway, so yeah, what is your interesting point? I am open for anything. Or you are very much interested mixing up AI with cyber security. Even that's also I'm fine. Otherwise, I wanted to cover security software development life cycle. I just wanted to cover how exactly security to be baked in within the software development life cycle. But I leave it to you. What is your interest?
Hi, good morning, Srinivas sir. This is Avneet from the hockey team. So before we start with your presentation, let me just give you a small brief about our candidates. There is a mix of candidates, I would say. Some are, maximum are from the tech background, and but there are some who are not from the tech background as well. So there will be a mix of questions which you will be receiving, wherein a question like how we can get back to the work, and also the question which has been raised earlier, that if we are not belonging to the tech domain, how we should begin, right? So these are kind of questions which you will be receiving, and also of course to the topic related as well. So just
No
giving you a
problem.
heads up, but
Anything. No problem. That's
how
fine.
the
But
will
team,
be.
anyway, thanks for telling that. But anyway, we are fine to answer any questions in case of any. And if time permits, definitely I'll try to answer within this session itself. Otherwise, definitely you can get in touch with us through Nandita. We are happy to answer. But otherwise,
Thank
before I get into my session, SDLC, Secured Software Development Lifecycle, or AI plus cybersecurity, what we are doing. What is your interest? Or in general, you want me to cover about security? Like, I leave it to you. Which one is interesting point?
So I request everyone, like this is an open call. You can just text to your preferred thing over there. Yeah, cyber security, A plus cyber. So Srinivas, you can go with A with cyber. A lot of people wants that combination.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so let me give some introduction. What exactly is security we do, and what kind of integration, AI integration we are trying to make. This is still in the R&D phase. Hey, team, can you go on mute, please? Hello?
Sorry. Yeah. They'll mute themselves. Everyone. Thank you, Srinivas. You can go ahead.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, AI plus cyber security. Okay, let me introduce. Okay, what kind of security services we are offering to our clients, and what we did, what kind of automations we have done, okay, to help our cybersecurity services to our various clients, and now how we are trying to integrate AI into our cybersecurity area. Is the thing I just wanted to cover. There are a few slides, but I don't rely on slides much. I will talk, and I'll encourage you to raise questions in case of any, right? Okay, so as Nandita has mentioned that I am providing security testing services across the world, in fact, CGI clients, and I can name few of them, but anyway, okay, so these are all various things. 8 years back, in fact, we started providing these cybersecurity services. When I mentioned cybersecurity, okay, it itself is various, it covers a lot. Okay, I can say CM, SOAR, uh, SAST, DAST, threat intelligence, threat modeling, and so whatnot. Around 18 different areas it covers as part of cyber security. Okay, so when I mentioned that I started providing these services to our clients 8 years back, So we initially started with the DAST. Okay, so that is dynamic. Team, please can.
Srinivas, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, yeah. Hope I'm audible, right? Yeah. So DAST,
Yeah, you are.
Dynamic Application Security Testing, is a service we started 8 years back. So what exactly it means? Okay, so that means we'll get applications. So when I say application, it can be internally used intranet application, I can say internet application, or any kind of an application. There are again 6 different types of applications. So definitely when you get any application, definitely there will be certain risks. However, those will be used. Even an intranet application, we feel that it will not be open for the public. What kind of security threats we'll be having on intranet application? No. But even insider threats, we will call that as insider threats. Okay, so definitely those threats will be there. So even it is a intranet application that needs to be penetration tested. Okay, so anyway, we started our penetration testing. That means again, I'm telling dynamic application security testing. There are 2 types of testings that we will cover here. One is a red teaming attack, and second one is black box testing. So that means without touching, without seeing the code of the application, okay, we will try to penetration test how well the application behavior with respect to the security. Okay, so that means we try to give wrong inputs. Okay, we call that as there is a keyword, we call them as payloads. Okay, so we create our own payload database. So there are around 656 vulnerabilities that exist in the world currently, including very recent. Last week, two vulnerabilities have been introduced. So with those 2, in total, 656 vulnerabilities are there. So when we started providing these services almost 8 years back, we knew around 120 plus vulnerabilities, but gradually even vulnerabilities are also growing. So definitely client expectations also will grow. Okay, so they will ask us to cover everything. So in order to cover all kinds of vulnerabilities across all the pages of client application, so definitely you require lots and lots of inputs to be generated. So generally we call these are all payloads. Okay, so we create our own payload database. So that means we create the payloads, and accordingly we try to hit the application with our payloads. I think there are lot many issues. We can call that as a SQL injection, CSS, CSVs, and even privilege escalations. I think whatnot. I think many things, but whatever, in order to execute anything, you need certain payloads. Okay. So we trigger these payloads and we see the application behavior. We see the flaws. We try to identify. And there is one recent issue, whatever we have identified, that is man in the middle attack. Okay, someone has asked encryptions, data sensitivity, all those things. I just wanted to cover for that, in fact, right? So your data is, okay, your application is dealing with crucial data. Okay, when I say crucial, maybe bank application deals with crucial data. So that means bank application deals with the accounts, account holders, and the money whatever they have deposited recently, and what is the money they are carrying in their accounts, whatever. I think these are all the crucial data. In fact, this is a secret data that should not be go out, okay, to the others, okay, who doesn't have any rights to get that. Okay, so what happens is when application deals with such kind of critical data, okay, so usually the data transmission will happen after the encryption. Okay, so usually we recommend our application owners to encrypt the data, at least when they release this data to travel across networks, right? So we do that.
Srini, sorry to interrupt you. Like, are you sharing any screen, Srini?
I'll do that. I'll do that. I just wanted to give the background. After that, I will share that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we usually recommend that encryption is required for anyone. Okay, for any data before we transmit through the networks. Nandita, please go. Can you go on mute? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So even we know how to break even this cryptology. Okay. Even though it is encrypted data, we do have our own techniques. Okay. Using man in the middle attack. That means there are some techniques to attack the networks, and we steal the data. We steal in the sense we are not hackers, but as part of our testing, we try to steal the data, even though it is in encrypted format, and we decrypt it, okay, with our own techniques. And we tell that, so your encryption mechanisms are not good. So even we will go to such extent and we test the application. And there is a CVSS mechanisms and OWASP top 10s and SANS top 25s, all those things. We consider all these, and accordingly we do our testing. Now what we are doing is this all will take. Okay, why I have given this background is in order to do all these things, and when we focus on 620 plus vulnerabilities, so definitely it's a time consuming. Recently we got an application having 500 plus screens. So definitely entire team has to work for 5 to 6 months of time to thoroughly test this application. So that's the reason very recently what we thought is, why can't we integrate AI into that? So that's where the actual presentation starts. I'm going to share my screen. Once you are able to see my screen, please let me know. Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is my first slide. So I have given the enough background. So when we are doing this dashed and the 500 pages application, and as I mentioned that 626 vulnerabilities with the multiple approaches, in order to test that, definitely I think 6 or 7 people need to work on that dedicatedly for at least 3 to 4 months of time. Okay, then only we can say that thoroughly we have tested that and we are having confidence. We haven't left out any pages or any vulnerabilities. But since it is a time consuming process, we try to find out the easy ways through AI. Okay, so what the research and development work we wanted to, in fact, Nagi has also suggested a few things, thanks to him. But anyway, what the research and development we try to do is, what are all the models those are available, okay, when we integrate AI, okay, how to train them, okay, to help to get their help for our penetration testing. Okay, I also talked about payloads. Payloads are nothing but inputs. Those needs to be generated to perform penetration testing. Okay, so for the payload generations, what model can be used and how that needs to be called from our programs, and how that needs to be tuned, what prompts to be given to get the right outcomes from the AI. So I think around 10 to 12 different objectives we set for ourselves, for our teams, and we started doing R&D, integrating AI for our performance testing. Okay, so this is a high level approach, whatever you are seeing. The innovation aims to integrate AI programs. So whatever the AI models, those are existing. We don't want to create any new models. We wanted to utilize the existing models. It involves developing AI-driven tools. There are lots of AI-driven tools. So we wanted to utilize them for our testing through these models. Okay. We can adapt to the application changes, perform behavioral analysis, automate exploitation. Exploitations are nothing but penetration testing, and provide intelligent reporting, whatever. Why? Because when we test 500 pages application, and let's assume that when we identify 200 plus issues, clients are expecting not only identifying the issues, but also remediation techniques, how to fix that off. Even that also clients are asking. So in order to come out with a big report, that itself is taking lots of time. So we wanted to utilize AI efficiently for all these activities to speed our work, okay, without reducing the quality, without impacting the quality. So our idea was this will improve the efficiency, reduce false positives. I don't know whether you are aware of false positives or not. So when we run certain tools, okay, automatic tools, along with the issues, it also gives certain observations. We call them as false positives. But the clients don't want to take these false positives. Client will say that, don't give false positives or an observation. You thoroughly analyze that and tell me whether this is a real issue or not. If that's not an issue, just get rid of it. Don't put that in our report. So false positive analysis also requires lots of time. Okay, even for that also we wanted to utilize some AI programs. And by incorporating AI programs, organizations can enhance their ability to identify them, remediate vulnerabilities. So whatever the problems I mentioned, those are all the time-taking activities. All these can be mitigated by utilizing or integrating AI. So that is the essence I wanted to tell. Now the solution. Okay, so once we confirm on this, so we started doing thorough R&D, and we wanted to learn about the existing models. Okay, and we wanted to classify them. We tried to classify them. What model can be used for what kind of an activity, and in order to use that, what needs to be done is the research and development activity we have done. Okay, we have almost assigned around 5 different resources for that, and they started doing this. Okay, and they finally they have identified, okay, these 7 different models, whatever you are seeing. For example, supervised learning is one of the model. Okay, reinforcement learning, that is RL, decision trees, and RNNs and ML algorithms. So this is for various things. Supervised learning. So these are all the 7 different things we have identified with good justifications, and we have demonstrated to our management, saying that if we get some time for the development, so definitely we will not be creating any models again afresh. We will be utilizing the existing models. However, maybe we may have to train them, but we will utilize them for various activities. Maybe for the first one, for the intelligent crawling. Intelligent crawling in the sense, when we have 500 pages application, our program need to crawl across or navigate across all the pages, right? Now, why I am telling intelligent? Why I'm using intelligence word here? Why? Because if you see that, I think most of you are aware, some of our current applications are having dynamic URLs. That means those are not the static URLs like previous. Okay, though these some dynamic numbers will be part of the URLs. That is the reason we need to predict right URLs along with the dynamic numbers that application will generate, and accordingly we need to get into that page. Otherwise, it's not that easy to get into all the pages. So for that, we wanted to use the supervised learning. And even the second one is input generation, is nothing but the payload generation I was talking about. And third one is for the actual decision trees, is for the actual penetration testing. Why we have used decision trees? That means it inputs certain values into the application, and based on the outcome from the application, it decides whether that is a real issue or the security behavior or insecure behavior or whatever. I think some decision needs to be made there. That is the reason we have used these decision trees. However, we need to give some training there. And RNNs for the runtime behavior, how exactly the application behaves when we are stressing it with our payloads. And ML algorithms for the domain based. That means there are many industries are there in IT. For example, it can be banking industry, it can be energy and utilities, retails, I think various industries. So for every industry, there will be separate security standards needs to be followed. So for that, we are planning to use some ML algorithms. And finally, false positive analysis also I mentioned. What exactly is that? For that, supervised machine learning. So these are all the machine learning related models we have identified. These are all the right fit for us. However, ready-made immediately those cannot be used. We need to provide some training, and we need to modify them. We need to call them in the right places, kind of things. So we started writing certain programs. Nagi also mentioned that we need Python programming. Yes, we need Python programming here, right? So using our Python programs, you can start writing certain programs, and it's an advanced Python, in fact, and NumPy kind of algorithms needs to be called. And along with that, we are also trying to call right models, right, with the right inputs, right? So we are calling them on the right places, and we are trying to give them right inputs, and accordingly we wanted to get the advantage out of it, in fact. So this is what, even for example, if you see that reinforcement learning, I already mentioned for intelligent crawling. Okay, so intelligent crawling is very important. So even though we initially thought that supervised learning is the right model for that, but we also had a comparison. like between supervised learning and reinforcement learning. And even one of our team member also mentioned that DeepQ network is also to be trained. So I think it's a combination of things we are trying to use, but ultimately what it does is it gets into when we input a 500 pages of application to these models. So it will come out with a kind of an approach, and it comes out with a dynamic URLs. It's a kind of a prediction. It predicts on what basis the dynamic content will be generated by the application. Okay, it predicts accordingly, and it comes out with the right URLs. And with those URLs, these programs takes our other models onto those screens for doing rest of the activities. So that's what is a dynamic programming, and that's what is a navigation across all the screens. And we call that as a intelligent crawling or intelligent navigation across all the pages. Right. So install required libraries. Anyway, these are all the prerequisites when we start dealing with the AMLs. Definitely, I think you need to come out with some advanced programming, and you need to pre-install certain libraries, and you need to call them in the right places from your Python programs. So we are trying to do that, and we are trying to call right programs with the right inputs to get the advantages of all these. So reinforcement learning can be employed for the input generation. This is nothing but again and again I'm telling that payload generation. Maybe if time permits, definitely I can open from my screen, from my laptop, what kind of payload database we have created. So that means, as I mentioned, that there are 656 vulnerabilities are there. Okay, so it's not a single payload is enough to identify one particular vulnerability. So we'll have to use multiple payloads with multiple combination of inputs to be given to identify vulnerability. For example, if it's an SQL injection, you cannot easily cheat the Oracle database, right? So definitely, I think you need to understand what exactly is the RDBMS concept. You need to understand what exactly is the table design. You need to understand what exactly is the data that has been stored within the table, and how exactly application gives a query to get the data out of this. Okay, so you need to have some basic learning. So based on the learning of the application, knowledge, whatever you had, based on that, you need to come out with the right payloads, to test whether SQL injection, that particular application or the database is vulnerable to SQL injection or not. So in order to do that, you need to come out with multiple payloads to identify a single vulnerability. So definitely we need to know multiples, like we are having millions of payloads, those are existing in our database. Okay, so these all will be triggered to identify 656 vulnerabilities as of now. But anyway, okay, so this is the reinforcement learning, or RL can be employed, in case if we need to generate any new payload, right? So apart from whatever the payloads that those are existing in our database, right? So all these we are trying to do, and custom environment and training agent. I think definitely, I think training agents to generate inputs, as I mentioned, that maximize the received reward, which corresponds to discovering vulnerabilities. I think ultimately we wanted to identify the vulnerabilities, and it is not easy. Okay, it's not as easy. No, I'm not discouraging you, but uh, penetration testing, identification of security vulnerabilities is not as easy as functional testing issue identification. Why? Because functional testing issue identification is once you identify the knowledge, once you understand the knowledge of the functionality, I mean application knowledge and how it works, what kind of inputs to be given, kind of things. With these things, at least definitely a business analyst can identify certain issues, functional issues from an application. But when it comes to the penetration testing, not only he need not to know any of the application knowledge. Why? Because hackers doesn't understand what exactly our application does. But even then, they will attack our application and they will get the data out, right? So that means they don't require to understand any of the functional knowledge. Only thing is they need to know the technologies those have been used. What exactly is a technology? What are the assets of the application? What are the assets of the architecture? How exactly architecture has been designed? Kind of things I think they need to know. So they will try to understand. For that, there is a technique called reconnaissance. Okay, so any hacker, before he tried to use his hacking techniques, he will try to get some information with respect to the application. So we call that activity as a reconnaissance activity. What he tries to understand is what technology has been used. If it is a Java, what version of the Java, what database has been used, what encryption techniques have been used, what decryption techniques are used, and what are all the roles of the user that application supports, and what is the privileges each and every role is having. So this kind of information he will try to get, and definitely he will try to get without giving any knowledge. No one need to give any knowledge, because reconnaissance is a passive reconnaissance and active reconnaissance. There are two different techniques, I mean to say. So using these techniques, hacker will get to know all this, and accordingly he will attack any kind of an application. So we try to get all these things and code for the automated vulnerability detections. So even though, yes, I think we have not created any models on our own. Okay, but otherwise we had to write, and we need to write, and even in future also we are going to write many Python programs to call them and to train them wherever it is required. Why? Because even vulnerabilities are growing. Definitely, even our models intelligence also should be grown, right? So in order to do that, I think we are planning out with lots of training programs, how exactly a model needs to be trained and what are all the inputs to be used. So various other things. Even for that, and we need to write lots and lots of Python programs, and we are doing that, and it had to be proven, this particular solution. But however, I think we have given a kind of a confidence to our leadership team, how exactly the data preparation can be done, how exactly the model training and prediction for that, so that model can predict, okay, right things, as I have given certain examples, right? And the data splitting, model initialization, model training, prediction, evaluations, all these things needs to be done on the models by their own, in fact, going forward. So we are trying to automate all these. And ultimately, I think, yeah, these are all the various sample codes anyway. But yes, these are all the benefits we wanted to show, a real-time analysis. And at the same time, however, we are doing our manual red teaming attacks, as I mentioned, manually. Okay, that quality should not go down. Why? Because once the quality goes down, definitely clients will not come to us. Okay, so the quality should not go down. But work should be done very fast using these AI techniques, and adaptive testing, increased speed and efficiency. As I just mentioned, that is the motto of the exercises, whatever we are doing at the moment. And rapid identification of vulnerabilities. As I mentioned, that currently, if you see our run rate, okay, at least 4 to 5 hours we'll have to spend to identify a particular page is vulnerable to any of the vulnerability or not. But I think we wanted to come out of that slowness. In fact, rapidly we wanted to identify vulnerabilities, and at the same time, those needs to be accurate and precision. That means there should not be any false positives. Why? Because we don't want to waste time there again. Okay, and behavior analysis, not only the vulnerability identification, but we also wanted to identify the application behavior, security behavior, right? So this is also to be recorded, and we need to tell this to our clients, in fact. And advanced threat detections. Advanced are nothing but the zero-day vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are growing day by day. We need to keep an eye on that, and accordingly, you should be able to tune or train your model accordingly, so that it also will be having a capability of finding recent or zero-day vulnerabilities, right? Customization and adaptability. So customization, in the sense, I was talking about various standards, like every application, okay, doesn't require similar kind of a testing. Why? Because the retail application will be tested keeping retail based standards in mind. Similarly, bank application should be tested keeping HIPAA kind of a standard. HIPAA is a HIPAA standards, keeping that in mind. And government applications needs FIPS and other standards. So that customization is required. Okay, so our models should be having this customization facility and capability. And comprehensive reports, as I mentioned, that when we identify around 200 plus issues, we should be able to give a comprehensive report along with the mitigations and improved collaboration and And regulatory company. Regulatory in the sense whatever these HIPAA standards are all the regulations we call them as. Okay, not only the web application standards to be tested, to be security tested, but also the regulatory compliance and risk mitigation and prevention also to be applied to our testing. So in order to do all these and in order to do all these very fast, yes, AI is the right example. However, AI cannot be integrated very easily. Even for that, we need to do lots of background work. I am done almost. Any questions?
Thank you, Srinivas. Nidhi this side. I can completely correlate with the things which you have very well explained right now. Last year, I have done certification in data science and decision science. So the algorithms which you have shown, I have done it during one project like random forest algorithm, stacking algorithm, bagging algorithm, and all those things. So my question here is that that part I have done, but now I don't know. Like I had earlier experience of 12 years. Now I changed my field. From last 4 years, I'm on break. But the problem which I'm facing is nobody is ready to take me as an intern as well, or a fresher, or if I apply my that resume is getting rejected on a very basic level. So I don't know how to proceed with the knowledge which I have gained, means the things which you have shown, like AI, the multiple tools, Hugging Face or Open AI, prompt engineer. I have done all these things, but I'm stuck somewhere. I just want to know whether CGI has some women to work, something like that, where they can ramp us up to, like, theoretical knowledge is different and practical knowledge is slightly different. So there is a gap which I want to fill, and looking forward whether you can help us to show us the path how to move forward.
Definitely, it's a path showing. We are there. In fact, definitely, I'm happy to help. Maybe you can have a contact. I think Nandita can give our LinkedIn's and all. Maybe you can get in touch with us. So we are happy to show you right paths. How exactly you need to enhance your knowledge. It's good to understand that you are already having ample of like lots and lots of knowledge with respect to these models, all those things. The only thing is technical knowledge. That's what you are telling that. So yeah, we are there to help you out. No problem at all. Okay, we'll guide you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, Srini sir, I had a question. So, like there are a lot of things which are coming up. We just spoke about OpenAI, we spoke about prompt engineering, and then there are so many AI algorithms. Then there is a predictive AI, and then there's generative AI. So while we do have certain curriculum to follow, but at the end of the day, this becomes little bit overwhelming and we get confused. Like at least I get confused as to, like, where should I put in my focus? Because when we talk about prompt engineering, it is more like trying to understand how to communicate with any AI engine that is available. When we talk about generative AI or predictive analysis, for that matter, it's like understanding the coding languages and then writing algorithms, explaining them, and being able to understand how the results are generated or how that particular machine is working. So, like, could you please like explain a bit of path? How should we like proceed with it? I know there are a lot of experts who have taken certifications, but still, it will be helpful for laymen like me.
So as Nagi has mentioned that, okay, the immediate thing is prompt engineering related knowledge. In fact, there are lots of Udemy courses are there to understand the prompt engineering. But what I was talking during my session is a bit of advanced, right? Because it requires some technical knowledge, calling the models, training the models, various other things, in fact. But definitely, given the examples and aspirations, whatever you just mentioned, I think prompt engineering you should learn so that you can start interacting with the right models and AI related things. Wherever is the field, maybe you are a tester or a developer or whatever. But ultimately, based on your prompt engineerings and whatever the inputs you give and whatever is the outcomes you expect out of it, so will be helpful for your day-to-day work. So prompt engineering is the right one. I think that should be your starting point, and based on that, you can slowly enhance your knowledge. That's what I can tell, right?
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? I don't know whether time, yeah, under 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is Shruti here.
Yeah, Shruti.
Just wanted to ask, like, see, we get daily new threats, right, sir? We get
0 days. Yes, 0
yeah,
days.
I mean, new threats are coming, right? So how come, AI will be training the model? That is a different case. But as a first person, we should have a knowledge on that vulnerabilities, right, sir? So how can
Yes.
we go on that?
There is a vulnerability database. I don't know whether you are aware it of or not. Okay, even we also. Okay, how even I think during my session I was telling that last week or yesterday or day before yesterday, 2 more threats have been added. Okay, so all these we'll get to know by keeping an eye on the vulnerability database. Okay, it's a national wide or international wide database, in fact. Okay, so it clearly, so maybe I think you can take that as an habit. In fact, maybe once in a while or every week, you can try to get into that the database. So it clearly tells that what are all the recent vulnerabilities. So based on that, it also gives what kind of impacts, okay, having those vulnerabilities kind of things. So yeah, to answer your question about the 0 day vulnerabilities, I think you need to start looking in regular intervals. You need to start visiting the vulnerability database. It's a NVD, we call that as, right?
So, thank you, Srinivas, and thank you, Navi, for your valuable time. So, I shared their LinkedIn's in the chat box. So, if you have any queries, you can just contact them. And anyway, I'm there with you, so you can ping me whenever you want. I mean, whichever query, I'll just connect to the two mentors. So, thank you for your valuable time, all the participants also. And thank you, Avneet, for facilitating all the things. Thank you. And just binding before wrapping up, if anybody wants to give feedback, like how the session went, only it's about the feedback, not questions or any suggestions. Suggestions and feedback time. You have 3 more minutes.
Hello. Yeah, hi guys.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, so basically it was nice. I saw so many people join today as compared to other meets. So like I was just thinking that we should just like I guess if anybody who is interested to just stay connected. Yeah, I am open to sharing my number as well as LinkedIn as well as Instagram so that if anybody wants to connect with me, I'm in Bangalore. So basically, why I want to connect because physically, if you meet or if you stay in touch, then probably the interaction will be much more because it's online, right? So that way, so I'm okay, and I will be mentioning my details. So if anybody is
Thank
interested,
you.
maybe they can message me. And the session was good, but again, like because we need a lot of practice, so it comes from there actually. To be very honest.
Yes. Thank you for
Thank you.
your valuable
Nanda.
feedback.
Thank you, Nandita, and thank you to Srinivas sir and Naga sir. And thank you for giving a lot more insights today and clearing all the doubts which they can do in the constraint of time. So I think let's call it a day. And all the LinkedIn profiles have been shared in the chat box, ladies. And thank you, Ritu, for sharing your number. And those who want to get connected with Ritu can take her number from the chat box. And yeah, that's all for the day, ladies. And rest of the sessions we will keep you updated in your WhatsApp groups. So let's call it a day here. Thank you, Nandita.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day to all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
People, whoever are there right now, I feel that, in whatever RHE group is there, if we can share the numbers, that will be great, because it's, I hope it is fine.
Sure, sure. I will share my number and
Yeah,
my
sure.
Instagram and LinkedIn also.
Maybe Ritu, we can do one thing. We can create one separate group and share the link of that group in our RHA group, so that whoever is interested can join.
Yeah, that's
No,
great.
but
Sounds good.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
via
idea.
yeah, okay, sorry, Nidhi,
Sorry,
but
guys.
via sharing a group, how it will help? Like, why I was interested to share my number